really need to know is she's lost her shoes along the way, and someone has given her a pair of purple knitted slippers. So she's doing the trip in slippers. Let's see. Around 4:30, I saw a bridge ahead of us, and I just about lost it. No one said we were going to have to cross a bridge. They've been falling down all over the world since the collapse, when tax money to repair them had dried up. Before I could find a conductor to ask if this really was a stable bridge, the train groaned across it, and below us a wide green river snaked on its way. I clamped my eyes shut tight, and I swear I held my breath all the way across. I'd seen a bridge in Victoria, but I'd never ever been on one. All I could think about was it cracking under our weight, sending us plunging down into icy water. When we crept over a second equally shaky bridge, I thought for sure I was going to faint. But then we were on solid ground again, and after a few minutes the train slowed and stopped. "Portland, Oregon," called the conductor. "This is Portland, Oregon." Everyone streamed through the musty station, out big doors into the early evening heat, and walked away in one direction. I limped after them because Dad had said that I needed to take the electric train called Max, and most people would probably be going that way. I had to ride it to Gresham, Oregon, a city about 25 kilometers away. "It's really just a suburb of Portland," Dad had said. "You won't be able to tell when you cross from one into the other. It should be pretty easy." He'd run his hand through his hair then, tugging at it. When he was worried, his curly hair stood up like a clown's wig from doing that, but I pretended not to notice he was nervous about me making this trip. Even though I'd been scared at the time, I'd like being the chosen one for a change instead of just James and Katie's little sister. Now I wasn't so sure. This part of the city looked a lot like the deserted bit of Seattle. Buildings had big condemned signs posted on them, and colorful graffiti decorated everything. I saw the rosy-cheeked woman with the toddler pushing a stroller, and I hurried after her. "Is this the way to the Max train?" I asked. She smiled. "Yep, we're going that way too." "I need to get to Gresham." "Max will take you there, hopefully a lot faster than that stupid train from Seattle. I catch the one going the other direction, but I'll show you." "Thanks." The Max station turned out to be just a narrow road paved with crumbling red bricks and 2 tracks. People crowded together on both sides of the street, huddling in the shade of the buildings. Rivulets of sweat trickled down my spine under my backpack. I had a feeling my hair looked like my mom's after she'd cooked a big meal. Humidity in the kitchen made her long frizzy hair bush out even worse than my dad's clown hair. "You catch a train across the street," the woman said. "Good luck." "Thanks." My dad had told me to buy a ticket from one of the machines before I boarded. I saw a big dispenser with cracked red buttons and a little screen. The entire thing was covered with graffiti. There was a spot to put money in, but a strip of metal had been screwed over the top of it so you couldn't use it. A guy with sandy hair and a sunburned nose stood leaning against the machine watching me. I pushed a button just to see if maybe the screen would light up, but nothing happened. "Those machines haven't worked since the collapse," he said. "Oh." "The Max is free to anyone who lives in the county. It's a social service," he explained. "You just apply for a pass and they send you one every month in the mail." "How do visitors pay?" "You buy a pass at Pioneer Square." I was totally confused now. In Seattle? No, downtown. Oh, did every city in the U.S. have a Pioneer Square? "Can I walk there?" "Sure, it's not far, but it's kind of confusing. I'll take you there if you want," he said, smiling. He looked normal enough. He was clean and wore shorts and a t-shirt, and I didn't think his pockets were big enough to hide a gun, but he could have a knife. I was done trusting strangers. Getting burned once today was enough. "That's all right," I said. "I can find it. Just tell me where it's at." He studied me for a second, then he shrugged and started giving me directions. Stop, I said after about 15 seconds. "You're right. I'm already lost." "Are you sure you don't mind taking me there?" He laughed. "No problem."